How you doing? Ralfy here, Ralfy Customs. We're going to put some Apehangers on our Russ's Nightrain. The first thing we're going to do, drop it down. It's too high. I'm fucking stood on tiptoes looking at this. We'll drop it down. We'll undo and remove all of the cables, the front brake reservoir, master cylinder. The thing that is going to be the biggest pain in the arse is the wiring, without a shadow of a fucking doubt. So, we've got internal wiring in the handlebars, which you can see here, comes out here. Now it's not going to be long enough for these rather large Apehangers, so that's going to be today's challenge. I'll get it dropped down, get this shit ripped off, like, unclip the wires, and get the handlebars on the bench. So we've undone the clamps on the front brake and clutch and dropped those levers off. And we've took the bolts out, or taken the bolts out of the controls. Now, this one had the standard torques in the top and an Allen bolt in the bottom, so we need to remember that. And they're on there, look, the four of them are laying in the magnetic tray. And the wires on this are fucking twigged in the twigger, so I'm not sure how that's going to fare. And we also need to try and get the fucking grip off, which I'm going to slide a screwdriver up and spray a bit WD-40 or something similar and try and work this off. That's what I'm going to do for that one. This side, what I've struggled with for years, was getting these fucking throttle cables out, because I don't like these two cable systems. Or I didn't like the two cable systems. The secret is, back the adjusters right off, both of these adjusters, put a bit of releasing oil, or, you know, I use SAS spray, I use this stuff, good shit, that is, like WD-40 but better, although I do have WD-40 as you can see. So anyway, screw them right in, and what that'll do is then give you enough slack, when you've got two hands, to get that up and out with that slotted bit there, look, just there. But in the same token, not you, Daz, although I don't think you watch, you got to watch, because these nipples on the end of here are a slip fit. So if you're not careful, look, you'll lose it. And these just cease to exist. The amount of these I've dropped and then had to fucking replace is incredible. Anyway, you slip them out, pull this off the end of the nipple, and that cable's then free. There is, on some, either clipping or screwing. This is a clipping. There's a little circlip on the end of this that holds it in here, and they tend to go walkers as well, so you got to be careful there. Although we're using new ones, we've got new ones here. So we'll see what we can do with that. Yeah, like so, look, there's a tiny wee circlip on the end there. And the only thing I've found that's good at getting them out is a sharp downward pull, basically. So you don't wrench them, like, but be firm. And then you can free them from this switchgear. And the twist grip comes off, and there you go. So they're now free. We've undone the wires. Is just a simple connector. Yeah. Oh, that's not the right one, that's the headlight one. Let's trace this one up, see where this goes. What's happening with this? Oh, the plot thickens, so Yeah, I'll get these cable ties cut off and follow this one along to there. There's your connector, we'll get that off, and then we're free. Then all I'll do is undone these two 19 millers, and Bob's your answer. The handlebars will be in my hand. We can go over to the bench and see how much longer the wires need to be. So, down the bench, put a red light on. Yeah. We can see that we're a bit short. I've worked out we want about 10 inches putting into these wires. So, what I'm going to do is move these bars out of the way. Like so. I'm going to strip this tape off because I have a feeling I'll find the joins, and if I do, that'll be gleaming, because obviously there's no way that has come through the hole in the handlebars. You know, it's not worked like that, has it? So they've been joined up somewhere externally. If that's the case, what I can do is cut into it where the joint is, put 10 inches of wire in. I don't know if I'll have the exact colour, but we'll take notes so we don't lose track. And then we can thread it, undo these, take them out of the handlebars, thread them onto the new handlebars and run the wires down, and probably finish it off in situ because we want it to be the right length, don't we? So yeah, shouldn't be too bad at all. So we have unmasked the wiring, and we can see that someone in their infinite wisdom has extended all of these wires using just red wires. Look, lose track much, but they all match up. You know, it's just wouldn't be my choice. It's not confusion friendly, is it? Well, it's confusion friendly because you'd end up confused. So what I think I'm going to do is either chop them off up here and then chop them there again, or I'm really tempted to just chop them off this end and put 10 inches on in my own colours. So break them here at this joint, and then put my own colours on that match the colours that are existing by 10 inches. I think that might be, or 12 inches, so I put a foot of wire on the end of each of these, because the length I've got now is only just about going to poke out the handlebars, like so. But I want that foot, but I can play with it once it's out, like. Righto, so what I've done, I've decided I'm going to chop out these joins. So I'm going to put a new bit of white in that is 12 inches long plus the join. A new bit of grey in that is 12 inches long plus the join, etc, etc. So there'll only be 2 joins like there is now, and not the 4 that it would have came in, so I'm just not happy doing it like that. So basically what I've done, I've measured down my 12-inch rule. Not a ruler, that's a sovereign rule, because you use it to measure stuff, and added on the length of the joint for each of these coloured wires. There's a couple of substitutes, it's like your online shopping. The white with a black trace I've not got, don't have that wire, so we're using a bit of blue, and the red with the yellow trace we're using plain red. Easy enough to remember. So what I'm going to do is chop them off at the top of the joint, make a new join, and then run the wires down, and then I should have enough to get out the handlebars at the other end when we fit it up to the new one. We'll do one side at a time with the wiring and see how we get on. Right, so I've showed this loads, but a quick recap. If I would join wires, I strip off a section on each, and then I wrap the left one around the right one, if you like, and then the right one around the left one, and that gives us a roll which is about the same size, or a little bit under the same size as the wire with its insulation on. So we've not got a big flamenco's fucking kneecap. Then we'll give that a solder like so, trim off a bit of the old heat shrink. Took that on. And then come in with the old hairdryer on steroids and shrink that down. Now this stuff, I think this stuff's got glue in it. It might not have actually, but it's sure as shit goes sticky when you get it hot. Bastard. And there you go. That's good as gold. That won't go anywhere, you know. It's as strong as a wire, definitely. And with that all done, we've held it gently in the vice, look, in the old fucking in the old bench vice, and we've wrapped it with insulation tape. We've put a bit of heat shrink over all the loose ends, because these are all staggered joints, remember, because they're all different lengths. We don't want a big flamenco's kneecap, so we staggered the joints, which means we've got staggered ends. So we've tidied them up with a bit of sacrificial heat shrink, and then we've put a loop on the end of a bit of MIG wire, and we've got it here, look. So we're going to thread this end through the handlebars, the new handlebars, pull the wires through, and then fucking bob's your auntie. Like so, look. I've spared you the fucking about that was involved. That didn't go easy, but we're in. We're down the end and we're out the bottom. Ooh, missus. So I'll thread that through and then just repeat with the other side, and it'll be back over to the bike. Okay, so the new bolts are considerably longer than the old bolts. So we're going to have a quick trim up. These are a little bit long because the visors aren't as deep, so we're going to go about there, look. If I can switch it on. Nasty blows, Captain. We'll give them a good polish up. A little bit of the sandbox. Bob's your auntie. Hey. She's got some fucking size to her. Right, they're on. And very nice they fucking look too. Just starting finishing the wiring. Same as the other end, just exactly the same procedure. We'll get that taped up and clipped up. And then go around the other side, do the same. And then we're on to throttle cables, I think, or brake line. We'll see what happens. Hey, the plot thickens. Right. Although I do have an extensive collection of cables and bits to make cables, I ain't got these ends new, and I don't want to reuse them because they're scabby and they're bonded. So I can't, you know, if I pull that out, it'll fuck that up and I won't get the new cable in, it won't be right, and it's throttled, so we don't want it sticking. So they're on order. Same with the clutch cable. Russ has just been in and he's going to go and get the longest clutch cable they do. Look, that's how shorter it is. It's that much too short. So we're waiting on that. I think the only job I've got left, I can make up a brake line. I'm going to reuse these ends. We put new olives in. And the reason I'm reusing the ends is that, again, I've not got the ends for it. They're all right as well, you know, there's no point in fucking... It's fine, they'll be absolutely fucking tickety-boo. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to crack the ends off and have a measure and get everything over on the bench again. We'll make up a brake line that's however much longer it needs to be, which you've seen me do before, but I'll probably show you a few bits and bobs along the way. And then we'll get that on and we'll try and bleed it. The biggest issue I've got is when I mount the fucking master cylinder on the handlebars, look here, that is above my eye line. It's fucking hell. The end of the handlebars is where my nose comes to, just about like. So, in fact, it's just above the end of my nose. If I walk straight up to it, it bangs me on the nose. So I'm going to fucking have to stand on a box on my tippy toes to get that fucking bled up. Such is the job that it is like. Right, so that came off easily. 2 P-clips and a union each end. Measured it, and we know that we need to cut a piece of this 15 inches longer. Fucking hell, that's something, innit? So we're going 15 inches up with the old fucking Apehangers, man, like a fucking David Mann poster. So anyway, I'll get a bit of this cut off, and then we'll undo these ends and pull them back and trim the ends off the old, because I want the fastener. Like I say, we'll put new olives on the new line and use the old ends. They'll clean up lovely. I think the stainless, looking at it like, either way, they're usable. It's just not a size of fucking no shape that I've got in, like, so they'll do it nicely. Righto, so we've chopped the ends off and give them a quick polish. I'm just gonna undo it like so to salvage the gland, salvage the fitting. You know, threads a quick clean up before I take it off completely with the old brass brush, right? And then everything should be hunky fucking dory, ready to reuse. Yeah, good show. Just want to punch the old bit of line out. Hurry up. Soft jaw's gone for a wanker. There you go. So that's the old bit fucked off. Save the nut for further use. Ping that off. Happy days. Righto, so here's one of the harvested ends. What we need to try and do now is clean the end of this brake line up. I'm not showing you very well, but we are. Get the nude nut on. Ow, bastard. Like so, watching the sharp ends. And then we need to press the new olive on, which is, you do a jig for this, which I don't own. So what I do is get that started best I can, making sure that we're not trapping any of that nasty braiding. Focus. See how we've flared the braiding out a little bit, and that'll give us room then to get the olive on. So it's come a second wife, Olive, bless her, because she looked a bit like Olive on the buses. She didn't really, but it was funny. Get that about right, and then if this will focus, which is not, is it? Look, touch the screen, there you go. Really, and ping the olive off on the floor. Sorted. Right, work it, baby, work it. Like so. Get that pushed up there as far as it'll go. Now, this braiding comes a bit short because it's flared out, it's spread out like, which means it's lost some of its length. Never mind the quality. Feel the width. And then it's just a case of making sure, keeping that pressure on this way and tying the bastard up. That's it, it's that simple. And now compress that olive onto the Teflon liner and make for a good old compression fitting. It'll withstand the rigours put on it by the braking system. So yeah, it's one end about done. Just don't go mad like, you can rip the thread straight out of these if you want to, but it just needs to be nice and firm, not too tight. So one down, one to go. We'll get this other end done once we've cleaned it up a bit, and you can join me again back at the bike. So yeah, that's the solution. right there. It's proper ming in there. But we'll get that sucked out. We'll siphon that off. And we'll crack off the bleed nipple. And we'll draw some fluid through. And that is about where I'm going to call it, because we're waiting for parts. So that job will be shelved for a few days, and we'll get back on it as soon as the bits. So there you go, a gentle return after the Christmas and New Year break, and a jolly good fucking job too. Really enjoying this. All that it leaves me to do is thank you for watching. Please give me a thumbs up and a sub if you like what you see. That way you won't miss any updates. You'll be up to date. I know what I mean. Check out my merchandise and friends in the description below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Big love everyone. See you soon.